Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Today I'm going to share with you a theme video of cannons that appear on banknotes. I'm very excited to share these themes with you, and I'm excited to start this theme out with a fellow country of North America, in this case Mexico. And the gentleman that appears on this note is Jose Maria Morelos. And he was a hero of the Mexican Revolution, and he was also a priest, I believe. And he suffered from horrible headaches, and that's why he is depicted with this white sheet or rag that is tied around his head. It could be tightened and help him to endure the horrible pain he must have gone through. And it seems interesting to me that there are several other people around the world that can have a binding on their head for the horrible headaches they appeared. When and if Harriet Tubman ends up appearing on the United States $20 bill, it's entirely possible that she will appear with a similar sheet or rag tied around her head to help her deal with the horrible head pain she had to deal with as well. For me, it's a sign of a hero, and I'm quite happy to have that on the note. Every one of these notes in this group also depict cannon, and all of these cannon could be considered weaponry or firearms and would naturally fit in nicely with either of those other two topics. But I chose cannon in the sense that they're bigger, they're usually hauled around on wagons or mounted, and can do a lot more damage in the long run and distance, and even if they hit targets close up, than can a armed weapon that you carry in your hands. The first note I'm going to share with you that has cannon on it commemorates the 75th anniversary of the Bank of Mexico. And you can see it right there, 75th anniversary of the Bank of Mexico, 1925 to 2000. And here you have Sud, and you have crossed cannon, and you have a bow and arrow that appear on the face of this 50 pesos of Mexico. On the back is as bucolic a scene as the front could be warlike. You have a fisherman over here from Michoacan, and I just love notes with fishermen. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you've seen some of my fishing themes. And butterflies over here. You know, this is a state that has a whole lot of the wintering nesting grounds, if that's such a thing exists, for the monarch butterfly. And, you know, I don't know what to believe. I mean, I hear every year about all the butterfly sightings, and everybody is hosting the butterfly as it migrates. But then I also hear contact that they're dramatically reduced each time. And so I hope that they do find their place in our modern society, or that we can find it in us to take care of them. This is a regular colored 50 pesos from Mexico, and this is also from the same year, but it doesn't have the commemorative logo here, nor does it have the vibrant coloring of the previous note, although like the other note, it has the same design. On this side, again, you have the arms, you have the bow and the arrow, and the crossed cannon. Let's move over to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. I have a $5 bill to show you, and this note has Queen Elizabeth on it. It has fish, it has flowers, and it has hummingbirds. So, I mean, a lovely theme, but it's like, where's the cannon, Swaggerty? This is supposed to be a cannon theme. So let's turn it over and let's see if we can't find the cannon on this side. Ooh, it's a green note, and you know I like green. So it looks like we have a waterfall on here. It looks like we have some specific scenes to various islands. There's Admiral House in Antigua and Barbuda. Oh, and look, what do you see right here at the bottom? You see cannon. It's very generous of me, because I do not care how big or how little an object is for it to be included in a theme. Although I'm sure you guys were like, why did he build it up so much? Okay, we're going to stay in the Caribbean, and we're going to look at this Banque de la République d'Haïti. Haiti has been in the news lately, unfortunately, far too much. This is a Toussaint Louverture note, and in this note, he seems to be wearing a wig a la, you know, Europeans at the time, you know, wore wigs. I have a similar note with the same man, only he actually has his natural afro showing rather than a wig. So, I mean, it is something that the people are thoughtful of a lot. And there's nothing on this side to indicate a cannon, but when you turn this note over, it is a rich, rich design, very lovely. And in the middle, you have arms. And around this, I believe, a palm or a palmetto tree, you have flags, and you actually have cannon on caissons, or those two-wheeled carts that they used to roll them around. In the foreground, there's a trumpet, and it looks like a drum. So it's a very military-based banknote. It's a lovely note. I'm glad to have it. We're going to go to the Philippines, and here's a 5 peso. I always want to call it a piso just because I'm from English, but I believe that has more of a Latin pronunciation, so the I would be an E, so you have peso. So you have a 5 peso note of the Republic of the Philippines. And the cannon is right here, and it's a lovely view of a cannon. And when I see this cannon here, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, over hill, over dale, as we hit the dusty trail, and the caissons go rolling along. And I think it's sad that the military in the United States recently changed the words to the theme song because nobody knows what the heck a caisson is anymore. But educate them. My God, don't dumb down the speech. Just make it better for everybody to learn the words. Now you're hearing the teacher and me complain, so I'm just going to be quiet now. So here's a lovely scene of a flag waving in some of the early parts of probably back in the days when the Philippines were rebelling against their Spanish rule. And sure enough, right here, you have June 12th, 1898. So I think that was way before the U.S. ever had much to do with the Philippines. Let's go back to South America to this 1,000 pesos argentinos. And this was a note that was overprinted from 1,000 pesos to a 1 austral during one of their many currency devaluations. I don't understand why the Argentinians like to do it, but they like to do a whole lot of experimenting with their economy, and it might be better for the people if the people somehow said no, and maybe they have with this newest president, but we'll find out. So lots of lovely label work on the front of this note, and on the back we have I guess one military meeting another military on a field of battle, and or maybe it's the field of battle here, and these are the generals out of harm's way up here, which seem to happen a lot. A Pass in the Andes is the title of this artwork, and we have on horseback up here, we have leaders, and down here on their feet, we have the people who actually did the die-in for the army. And then it looks to me like there's a cannon right here, but it looks like it's mounted on a horse. What do y'all think? You'll have to get one of these 10-cent notes and take a close look at it yourself and see what you think. Let's move to Belize in Central America, which would make it North America. And let's see what we can see here on this note. A $5 bill, Queen Elizabeth, fish, probably delicious tasting fish too. Y'all can tell I'm hungry, can't you? All right, let's see what's on this side of the note. Birds, flowers, locations inside the nation. I've been to Belize, and I've been to their old capital, and then I have never been to their new capital, which was moved interior to try to avoid some of the hurricanes. But right here, we have a lovely cannon, which formed a memorial here. And for that reason, it's included in this theme video. We're going to go over to Afghanistan to this phenomenal blue note. I love blues and greens on banknotes, and this shows the old king, or the old Shah of Afghanistan, who was overthrown by his first cousin, who became president of Afghanistan in the 70s, and then lost all of his power, and has resulted in the shame of the Taliban ruling a nation that I want to, part of me is like, how come they can't hold on to their freedom? But then I wonder how a common people can possibly hold on to their freedom when they are run by so many people that are just jackasses. Not just Afghanistan, but it just haunts me that a beautiful, proud people can be as devastated as they are right now. Let's take a look at this memorial here on the back of this side. This is a simple design, and I love blank spaces on banknotes because blanks can say a whole lot. But here at the bottom, on almost like a living compass rose in a way, in the different quadrants, is a cannon on caisson. You can see it very well here. You can see kind of a 3/4 view of the cannon and the wheels right there as part of this memorial. My heart is always going to be with the Afghanistan people, and if I've offended any of them, I apologize. I have no use for the Taliban and what they've done to your women or your sense of spirit and independence. But I do care about Afghanistan, and I hope someday you will be free. Okay, we're going to move to Nicaragua, and this is also in Central America, and we have a local chief here, some crops here, some lathe work, and on the back of the note we have a young lady, Rafaela Herrera, and she is firing a cannon onto a British ship. And, you know, my friendship with modern Britain notwithstanding, it is kind of nice to see fellow rebels wanting their independence from Great Britain. And now it's the people of Great Britain who want their independence from Great Britain. But here I go being a little too political, so let me just shut up now. So we're going to go to South America outright now for this Bank of Guyana, a $500 banknote. And I love the maps that they do here because they show where natural resources are. And one of the maps that we do a lot in school are the natural resource maps of a nation. And here is that nation putting it right there on their banknote. It's a lovely, lovely involved design on this banknote. And on the back side, you're like, where is that cannon? Because I don't see it in front of this palace or anything. But over here, there's a lovely cannon on a caisson of sort right there. Kind of a neat note. And I was looking to see if it was on this side as well. And I don't see it over here because I thought for a while it might be the offset register. But I believe this design right here is the offset register. We're going to go back to Argentina. And remember I showed you 1,000 pesos Argentinas, or pesos that had been overprinted as an austral. This is 1,000 peso that has not been overprinted. So I think it's pretty much the same design as the other note. And if we look at it here, yeah, we have the same battle scene with the general is trying to stay alive. The foot soldiers that they're just, letting face their death right there. Looks like a horse-mounted cannon to me. Ooh, let's head back to Mexico for another 50 pesos. Only instead of a commemorative or a paper, this is actually the polymer version of the same note. Same gentleman, Mr. Morelos, and the same cannon crossed on the foreground. Only this time we also have what looks like a butterfly, and perhaps that's kind of an offset register because you can see it over here as well. And over here you have different views of butterflies, bridges. It's just a lovely note, but the cannon that put this in this category are right here. And then the final note I'm going to share with you is a colorful version of the Cordoba of Nicaragua that we looked at earlier. This is a much more fancy note. Same themes, same Indian, same grains, a lot more lathe work, colorful, almost representative of early 1900s, late 1800s banknotes. Very nice. And when we turn it over and look at the back, a much more interesting image of Madame Herrera firing a cannon on a British ship. I don't hate countries for what has happened in the past. I hate how some people don't let things from the past go. I am Benjamin. This is Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Like and subscribe, share, cuss, and discuss. But ultimately, have a jewel of a day.